Welcome to my channel. Here's a video about guns. I recently purchased a Springfield Armory XD 10mm. I also am waiting for my Springfield Armory Hellcat to arrive next week, and I plan on doing some reviews on these. And elephant in the room, there's people that hate Springfield, and I'm going to get it in the comments. I already have. There's people that boycott Springfield, that want to see it go out of business, that will never purchase a Springfield Armory, and anybody that does, we're going to let you know why. I actually just got a comment in one of my last little videos that guy says, the Second Amendment is way more important than any brand loyalty or a cool new pistol. What Springfield did when they got an exemption and then helped fund the Illinois anti-gun effort is unforgivable. And you're going to hear comments like that, and they're whispering all over the internet, and they're going to be partial truths and sensationalizing, and you're not going to know what to believe if you're new to this thing. So a brief history of Springfield Armory. In the late 1700s, they made muskets and M1 Grands and stuff for the government, and it's now a historical building, I guess, because the government started going to private companies like Colt and Armalite to make their guns. Well, someone purchased the trademark Springfield Armory, was making M1As, and then in the 70s, early 70s, the guy that currently owns it in Illinois, which why you would do a gun company in a blue state like that hates guns, I have no idea, but that's where it is now. It's been making guns for 50 years and importing guns. It's been a loved company. So why the drama? Well, a couple years ago, there was in Illinois, just in Illinois, this isn't a nationwide thing, it was called the Gun Dealer Licensing Act. And they were going to make it so not only did you have to have federal licensing, but you had to jump through all their state hoops. In an anti-gun state like Illinois, that's not a good thing for people that want guns and not for the gun industry. So the Illinois Firearms Manufacturing Association, IFMA, mostly was Springfield and Rock River, they hired a guy to go negotiate against this thing. Well, they were opposing it. Well, then they were given an exemption because they said if you're a small dealer that sells less than 10 or a big box store manufacturer, then you're exempt. And so Rock River and Springfield stopped opposing it. And that's all it took for the gun community to start doing that whisper game and start eating up Springfield and being like, you turned your backs on us, you're not pro 2A, you hate gun lovers, and it just started getting out of control, and we started eating ourselves up. And Springfield tried denying that they knew the guy negotiated that. They fired him. They walked it back. They're saying they're pro 2A. They came out with an announcement. They've been actively donating to the NRA and doing all these things to get forgiveness for what they did, and people just refuse to forgive them. It's been a couple years, and still people don't want to buy Springfield Armory, and people will let you know why you shouldn't buy Springfield Armory. But the funny thing is they've done so much good for the gun community. And I mean, they're literally making firearms. That's what the Second Amendment is. It's owning firearms, and they're making AR-15s and handguns. But they're also donating all this money to the point that these anti-gunners also hate Springfield Armory and list them as one of their most hated companies because of how much money they donate and everything that they do for the gun lovers. And so they're taking it from both sides. Well, the people that hate it and want to boycott it and want to see it end, I don't know what their end goal is. Where does your virtue signaling end? I mean, you're going to start going that way. Anyone that doesn't like guns, you're going to not be able to support anybody or anything, which if that's the way you're going to be, fine. But what's your end goal? I mean, you look at companies like Colt just recently stopped selling, even LE, that's law enforcement only, or Smith & Wesson with their M&P, which is military and police. That's what people want. They only want the military and police to have these firearms. And we've forgiven supposedly Smith & Wesson, who went for mandatory locks on guns, limitations on mags, background checks. You got Ruger that was wanted to ban the high-capacity magazines and waiting periods. You got Daniel Defense with the fixed nicks, X Products. My goodness, even Trump, he owes me $450 for taking my bump stock away. And it just never ends. There's all kinds of people that have done bad and will continue to do bad. But I feel like we're cutting our noses off to spite our faces as gun people, and we can do better at supporting companies that make mistakes and want to do better, and that are making guns and producing these things that we want. We don't need to bring them down. We don't need to be attacking them. I don't see what we're going to accomplish by doing that. It's like that story of the sheep thief back in the day, and he had ST tattooed on his forehead for for sheep thief, and everyone knew him as that. Well, he changed his ways, and eventually he became. They asked, "Well, what's that ST on his head?" Well, it must be Saint because he's such a good guy. And we got to look at something like that where, if anything, Springfield has kind of had their little spanking and been corrected. And you think they're going to do something like that again? I don't think so. To me, that's a gun company we can now support. Other gun companies can learn lessons from. And we need to focus on who are our true enemies in the, as the Second Amendment and gun owners are, and battle against them. And I'll post this up and you're free to say what you want, but as for me, I forgive them. I like their products. I'm going to support them, and I'm going to support them with my money. I'm going to make some reviews and focus on the people that are the real enemies here. And I'm kind of nervous now to post my mechanic review, because that'll be a whole new can of worms that I'll be opening up. All right, thanks for watching.